to 33rd. If McMacken stayed, he also may be able to retain most of Jones' staff. Another reason McMacken's interest may come as a surprise is because before Jones left for his job interview with the Mustangs, he made a list of potential candidates he thought wanted the job, and McMacken's name was not on it. We'll have more on the other assistant coaches and McMacken's interest in the job coming up in sports. Liz Chun, KGMB 9 News.
Thanks a lot, Liz. Now on to the termination of Herman Frazier. It did not come as a surprise, but it did come without much fanfare. Instead of a press conference, news that Frazier was leaving came in the form of a press release without the university's chancellor or president around. KGMB 9's Tina Chow is live in Manoa with the latest. Tina?
Hey there, Kim. The final approval will have to come from the Board of Regents, but as of now, Herman Frazier is out. Earlier this morning, UH and Frazier came to an agreement that Frazier will be terminated. UH will buy out his contract for just over $312,000. That contract expires July 31st of 2010.
He'll be terminated by mutual agreement. And under the terms of his contract, when he is terminated, it provides for 1 year's pay plus 90 days salary. And that amount totals about $310,000.
The Board of Regents does plan to meet later this week, but the earliest it could act on this matter is late next week. That's because state law requires the board to post their agenda 6 days in advance. The chancellor and the president did not wish to comment on this agreement today. Right now, Associate Athletics Director Carl Clapp is taking over for Frazier, and we'll have more on that later in this newscast. Reporting live from Manoa, Tina Chow, KGMB 9 News.
Thank you, Tina. Of course, in the sports business, coaches and athletic directors are fired all the time. Now that Herman Frazier is out, those within the UH athletic department are looking ahead to get the program back on course. KGMB 9's Tim Sakahara joins us with more. Tim.
Carl Clapp has taken over the day-to-day athletic director duties. He's only been on the job a few hours, but already he's got a lot of support.
Steve Oshiro had been free on bail, but all that changed in circuit court.
Your lawyer has informed me that you want to plead.
This morning, she didn't want to stop and talk on camera, but she did say she was there to listen and learn, and she met with Carl Clapp, her pick for interim athletic director.
There's certain people in life that really live by the old saying, you know, it's amazing what we can accomplish when nobody cares who gets the credit. He's that guy. There's those people out there that say, my door's always open. His really is.
Carl Clapp has already scored major points with various coaches.
To me, like I said, what I have seen him do, things that he's come up with, I think in the past, if people maybe have listened to some of his suggestions or whatever, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in.
The university hit historic highs this season, and with June Jones's departure, it quickly hit some lows. But many believe Carl Clapp is the guy that can get the university back in the right direction.
We lost a great guy in June. A great leader, a great visionary, and did great things. But it was time for June to move on. Because again, I'm stealing from Carl Clapp here. Carl put it so good, and I think the best I've heard, June is a builder. He's not a maintenance guy. June has built this program to where it is, and June even has said sometimes in order to make change, you have to leave to create and cause change. Okay, he's done that. Carl's the guy that can get this done.
The writing is already on the wall. On athletic posters, it says, invest in success. And players hope the university will finally follow that motto.
To know that we had success over numerous years with Coach Jones and not to have nothing put back into the program is kind of disappointing. You know, I feel state and the university wants to have a great football team every year, but they're not doing the necessary steps to have a great program.
Today, coaches also said you don't blame one player or one play for losing a game. They say the same about recent controversies, referring to Herman Frazier, saying he was a big part of the problem, but others in the administration they feel were also at fault. Tim Sakahara, KGMB 9 News.
Thanks a lot, Tim. Carl Clapp has only been at the University of Hawaii for about a year, but he has decades of experience leading athletic programs in smaller schools. In his bio, he lists several jobs before he joined the Warriors in 2006, including athletics director of St. Mary's College of California, University of Redlands, and Avila College in Missouri. He also coached football at Emporia State University in Wichita and Arizona State. Clapp has 4 children between the ages of 11 and 17.
With the departure of June Jones, UH Athletics Director Herman Frazier is fired. University of Hawaii bought out his contract that expires in 2010 for $312,510. Frazier was not available for comment today. Associate AD Carl Clapp will take over the department until a new athletics director is hired. As UH now looks to pick up the pieces and start a new era in Manoa, many of Jones' former staff members want to stay and build upon the momentum of last season. Surprisingly, Greg McMacken is one of them. The defensive coordinator, who was expected to leave with Jones to SMU, is now interested in the position of head coach in Hawaii. Sources tell KGMB 9 that McMacken is very committed to his players and the state, and that's a big reason why he's considering being a candidate. The 58-year-old has coached in the NFL with the 49ers and Seahawks and made many stops in college ball, including Texas Tech, Miami, Utah, and Stanford. McMacken is not the only UH assistant coach interested. Rich Miano, who was also one of Jones' original hires, is also putting his name in the hat. The Warriors' secondary coach played in the NFL at safety for the Jets and Eagles and Falcons after walking on at Hawaii in 1982. Miano is a Kaiser High grad who also coached 9 all-WAC selections, including Leonard Peters. The other prospective candidate is Jeff Reinbold, who has spent the past 3 seasons in charge of the UH's defensive line. Reinbold also has pro experience. He's best known for the years he spent on the sidelines in the Canadian Football League and NFL Europe. The 50-year-old was instrumental in molding 2 D linemen who were drafted last year, Ikaika Francis and Mel Purcell. There are a number of voids outside of June Jones. UH receiver Devon Best decided last week he'd forgo his senior year for the NFL draft. Luckily for Hawaii, another junior prospect is staying put.
It's just a program that, you know, it feels like we've done so much since I've been here and before I came here. I want to continue that with the players, just trying to push towards making us better. And I feel this is not a right time for me to leave. I feel with the senior leaders that we're going to have and the players we have, that we can actually do some stuff that could change this program in the future.
Leonard finished the season with 105 tackles, 2 sacks, 6 quarterback hurries, and a team-high 4 interceptions.
The past several days.
Sources say Frazier was asked to resign outright, and they looked at firing for cause. But the potential legal fight, reminiscent of the university's ouster of former president Evan Dobell, led to this settlement. Terminating Frazier without cause means money for the departed and a few more hoops, like Regent approval no sooner than 6 days from now.
It's going to take a little bit more time and I think a little bit more stress on not only the public but also the university.
Meanwhile, Associate Athletics Director Carl Clapp takes the reins until a replacement is hired, and he's likely to be the one hiring the next football coach. The posting for that job went up today and is on a fast track. Applicants will be reviewed in as soon as 5 days.
We think that what's important now is that we build on the momentum that's been created by the success of this past season, and we think this agreement will enable us to do that.
Anything to move past the highs and lows of going from 12-0 and BCS to this.
So successful on the one hand, but loses its head football coach, and now will lose its athletics director. I mean, it's a comedy of errors.
Now, Frazier's still not making public comment. He didn't come to the office today. Some close to Frazier have said they've checked in and offered assistance and say he's taking it in stride. Gina Mangieri, KHON 2 News.
So what do you think? Do you agree with UH's decision to buy out Herman Frazier's contract for $312,000? You can log on to our website, khon2.com, to cast your vote. We'll have the results of this unscientific poll on our 10 o'clock news. Athletes and coaches we spoke with today said the shakeup within the UH Manoa Athletic Department will bring about much needed change.
I think it's a step in the right direction, but there's a long way to go. Wakes the next guy up to say, hey, I better get the job done and not just collect a paycheck.
I think in some senses it'd be a good thing just because of the facts that what has been going on with programs, that places haven't been getting their funding.